Hello, everybody. This is Michael Hart. So I decided to look like an ESTP today, to dress up like an ESTP, just to throw you guys off, or ISTP. I like to troll people who think I'm mistyped. It's an NTP thing, okay? So, trolling people is an NTP thing. Well, it's an other people thing too, like STP, but still. So I guess that kind of defeats my purpose. So I'm not talking about anything in particular today. I'm just driving. Felt like filming. Okay, so whatever comes to my brain is what'll be what I talk about. What do I like about? How about what I hate about each type? What do I hate? What are we going to start with? ESTP. I don't know, I like a lot of things about ESTPs, but let's just assume I'm talking about unhealthy versions of each type. Okay, so unhealthy ESTPs. Actually, no, just regular ESTPs. What do I not like about them? I like a lot of things about ESTPs, but of the few things, they can kind of have like not really a sense of loyalty to friends. It's the FI trickster, you know. Like I had a really good friend who was ESTP for many years, and he would never forget this hat. He would never back you up if there was a guy giving you shit or something. He just thought it was funny. He would never back you up. He would just kind of stand back and enjoy the fight, enjoy the argument. He didn't really have a sense of loyalty. Or if one friend did me wrong, he'd still hang out with that friend, whereas I'm a little different in that way. If someone does one of my friends wrong, I don't really talk to them anymore, or I kind of I'm kind of loyal in that way. So that's the only thing I could think of that bothered me about some of the ESTPs I've known. Okay, so what's next? ESTJs. What annoys me about ESTJs? They can be a little too harsh and too quick to make judgments. They can sometimes see intuitive types as idiots before they get to know them, just kind of assume that there's something wrong with them rather than... and oftentimes I find them probably one of the least likely to be understanding about psychological issues and or just personality differences, personality types. You start talking about personality types with most STJs, their eyes glaze over and they just think you're talking about intuitive gobbledygook. So obviously I'm generalizing. There's ESTJs out there who aren't as bad in that area, but I would say they tend to be extremely resistant to conspiracy theories, even though what is it, 50% of all conspiracy theories turn out to be true. So I find them to be a little bit too blindly, along with STJs, just ISTJs, STJs in general, a little bit too blindly resistant to things that kind of challenge the status quo, or not very open-minded in that way. So normally I try to balance it out with positives, but I already did a positives video, so this is just supposed to be negatives. It's probably going to trigger some people. Oh well. Who's next? ISTJs. I would say similar things with ESTJs. Like I said, they can be kind of a little bit too close-minded sometimes. I usually get along really well with male ISTJs for some reason, but female ones, for whatever reason, we for some reason butt heads, and I don't know why, but there definitely is. In fact, I've thought about making a video on this, the differences between the genders, different genders, male ENTJ versus female, or male INFP versus female, etc. So anyway, yeah, there's differences. But yeah, what's next? ISFJ. My mom is an ISFJ. Am I going in order here? Yeah, okay, let's do the SFJs. So ISFJ, My mom can be very resistant with her beliefs. Like, she can be very black and white. And this is ISFJs in general can be very black and white with their belief system. Like, you're either with them or against them type of thing. Yeah, they can really dig in their heels when it comes to stuff, and kind of similar with the other SJs, really. They can be kind of closed-minded, resistant to new ideas, resistant to anything that challenges their current beliefs or the status quo, the way they like to do things. Yeah, like growing up, my mom, I've always been really entrepreneurial. Especially, as a kid, like starting age 10, I was already trying to sell things and create my own websites to, sell things online. I was really a go-getter when it came to stuff like that. And my dad thought it was great. And everyone else, like a lot of my other family members thought it was great, but my mom just thought it was stupid. She's like, when I was your age, I just went and got a job. You should get a good job and work your way up in a good company. Nothing thrills her more than having a job, even if it's minimum wage. Doesn't matter. If you're working for someone else, she finds that very thrilling for some reason. But if you work for yourself and you make money on your own, she's not impressed. In fact, it just kind of concerns her. Anyway, so yeah, that would be ESFJ. I don't know, there's not a lot of things to dislike about ESFJs. Young ones can be kind of cliquey and, it's a little too group-oriented. Group values over everything else, right? Similar with ENFJs. A little too concerned with what other people think sometimes. There's really not that much that I dislike about ESFJs, though. Let's see what else. Do the SPs. Did I already do the ESTP? I already did it. So I started with ESTP, so I might as well finish the SPs. Okay. ESFP. I don't know, there's not very much I dislike about ESFPs either, even though in socionics, technically we're conflicting relations. I don't know, we actually, you know what? I had a really good ESFP friend, and we would get into arguments sometimes. And when I would get in arguments, and this is other ESFPs too, you get into arguments with them, they really get stubborn. I think it has to do with something to do with their TI blind spot, but they get really stubborn when you're using TI. That's what I use when I debate. So usually when we butt heads, it's when we're in a debate or something like that. And I found that they'll just it doesn't matter how right you are, they'll just dig in their heels, and it's usually a discussion that goes nowhere. You're just getting nowhere with each other. But for the most part, ESFPs usually really like me, and I usually get along really well with them. Let's see, what else? ISTPs. What's there to dislike about ISTPs? Well, they can be a little too stubborn sometimes, a little too resistant. Similar with the STJs. STs in general can be a little too resistant to, some things. Once they've made up their mind about things, it's really, really hard to get them to open it back up. Like, they could just be really resistant to, anything that challenges their belief system. So, ISFPs. I'm starting to dislike this video. This is all negative stuff. You don't want to get on an ISFP's bad side. They can be very, ruthless when crossed. Let's see, what else? NTs, ENTJ. ENTJs will get very angry with you if you disagree with them. They do not like to be disagreed with. Some ENTPs as well. ENTJs can be a little too rash sometimes, and just don't like to be disagreed with. They'll start getting angry and raising their voice. This is not all of them, I'm sure, but a lot of them sure seems like. INTJs. Also, NTJs in general can be kind of, I don't want to say bigoted, but they can be kind of like, and I don't mean racially bigoted, but just like, if you rub them the wrong way or you have different morals in them, they can be very like, they just reject certain people, and it's like they see people the same forever. Like they just assume everyone stays the same and no one ever improves, no one ever changes. You know, if you were a bad person a couple decades ago, it's like they never forget it. They still see you in that light. Anyway, a little black and white sometimes with how they judge others. I would say that's INTJs as well. ENTPs can be kind of show-offs sometimes. Find that they can be kind of like obsessed with having all the attention on them. Kind of resort to one-upmanship if they're threatened by you in some way or jealous. And they're usually pretty good at it too. They're good at kind of making you look bad. Quick on their feet and stuff. Anyway, INTPs. Knowing things about INTPs. They can be a little too critical. So I'm talking about my own type right now, so I guess it would apply to me as well. A little too critical. A lot of INTPs are way worse than me. Like, I find some INTPs will almost use their personality type as an excuse to be an asshole. And to say, oh, well, I don't understand this type of stuff. I have inferior FE. Oh, I hurt your feelings? I'm not even sorry because it's my personality. No, that's a mental illness. If you don't feel empathy or remorse, that's called a mental illness. That's not called being an INTP. You dumbass. Anyway, so yeah, some INTPs annoy me. Let's see what else. NFs, ENFJs. Oh, I'm going to trigger some NFs here. They do not like the negatives. ENFJ can be a little dramatic, a little too over the top with their emotions sometimes. Sometimes I feel like they should just slow down, calm down, and think things rationally. Obviously, their dominant function is FE, so I understand, but and this kind of goes for INFJs sometimes too. Like slow down, don't get caught up in your emotions. Let's think this through here. Don't judge that person based on this, find they can be kind of self-righteous. Both NFJ types can be kind of self-righteous with their beliefs, and kind of see you as a bad person if you disagree with them. And they can be very stubborn and resistant in this area. Like, no matter how much information or facts you give them, to them, they don't see it as facts. They see it as just, up. They pretty much see everything as up to interpretation. There's no real facts. And, some NFJs anyway. I shouldn't say all, but I find they can kind of just reject things that they don't like just because they don't like them, even if they're established facts. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. Let's see what else. ENFP, we only got 2 left, guys. 2 left, folks. Oh, where am I going? I'm supposed to go straight. ENFP. Okay, so the TI polar can get a little annoying sometimes. Sorry, ENFPs. It's similar with the other NFs, really. Sometimes I just think you need to calm down and think rationally. Yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the ENFPs. INFP. INFP, huh? Well, I know you guys are very sensitive, so I'm going to try to word this right. INFP. I think you guys can get a little bit too caught up in your own interests, your own pursuits, and kind of forget about others. And obviously not all INFPs, but I'm kind of drawing a blank for some reason on INFP negatives. So anyway, I hope I triggered every single one of you guys. I really appreciate you guys continuing to watch my channel. And thank you for watching.